Hear them chains breaking like a tempered glass. Carry power from the gym, it ain't giving mass. You won't see me double back, I don't follow the mass. You see me marching in the field, cause I'm free at last.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Uniquely Anointed. So today we'll be doing Psalm 70. Wait, I think I did Psalm 73. We're going to be doing Psalm 74 on today, and the verse of the day will be somewhere inside the video. Psalm 74. O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why do thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture? Remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. Lift up thy feet unto the perpetual desolations, even all that the enemy hath done wickedly in the sanctuary. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregations. They set up their ensigns for signs. A man was famous according as he had lifted up axes upon the thick trees. But now they break down the carved work thereof at once with axes and hammers. They have cast fire into thy sanctuary. They have defiled by casting down the dwelling place of thy name to the ground. They said in their hearts, let us destroy them together. They have burned up all the synagogues of God in the land. We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet. Neither is there among us any that knoweth how long. O God, how long shall the adversary reproach? Shall the enemy blaspheme thy name forever? Why withdrawest thou thy hand, even thy right hand, pluck it out of thy bosom? For God is the King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou did divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the head of the dragons in the water. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat of the people, to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Thou did cleave the fountain and the flood. Thou driest up mighty rivers. The day is thine, the night also is thine. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. Thou hast set all the borders of the earth. Thou hast made summer and winter. Remember this, that the enemy hath reproached, O God, and the foolish people have blasphemed thy name. O deliver not the soul of thy turtle dove unto the multitude of the wicked. Forget not the congregation of thy poor forever. Have respect unto the covenant, for the dark places of the earth are full of the habitation of cruelty. O let not the oppressed return ashamed. Let the poor and needy praise thy name. Arise, O God, plead thine own cause. Remember how this foolish man reproacheth thee daily. Forget not the voice of thine enemies. The tumult of those that rise against thee increaseth continually. Amen. I talked about this before, things may happen in our lives that make it seem like God has left us, or forgotten about us, or whatever the case may be. But we have to combat that. We have to combat it with what the word say. God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's a promise. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's the main one. God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's a promise. That's a promise. So, we may feel that way because we're human. We got the emotions, all the little shebangs. So our first instinct would not, sometimes, I'm saying not all the time, but sometimes our first instinct, especially when we caught off guard, would not be, it'll be to, react out of emotion. And you see that in the Bible a lot too. You do see that a lot in the Bible. When they saw Jesus walking on water, they was like, "Oh, it's a ghost." You know what I'm saying? That's just one instance. So we do tend to, like, when we caught off guard or something like that, we tend to act out of an emotional response. But combat that with what the truth is. God will never leave you nor forsake you. But when he said, "Oh God, why when he said, "O God, why hast thou cast us off forever? Why doth thine anger smoke against the sheep of thy pasture?" It may feel like that, you know what I'm saying? It may feel like that, and you voice your concerns, but it don't take away from what God said in His Word. God will never leave us nor forsake us, and honestly, when sometimes when that happens, it's, how can I say? Sometimes God is silent. This is one of the ways that God is silent. Or it may seem silent. I've talked about distractions before, like when you've been feeding your flesh more than your spirit, so your flesh is too loud. Quiet the noise so you can be able to hear God. That's one. And then another, sin will separate you. It'll block that channel too. Sin, disobedience, sin and disobedience, doubt, uncertainty, and things like that can cause you to not hear God. Those are some of the things, but it don't take away from the truth of the matter. God will not leave you nor forsake you. You can do something that can cause that communication to be blocked. And I did just read something that said that, sometimes God will be silent it's as a testing of your faith, to test you as well. And if I'm not mistaken, he did he do that with Job? Oh my goodness, y'all. God was silent for 400 years. After Malachi, in the 5th century BC, to the arrival of John the Baptist, God was silent for 400 years. That is why them people was so tuned in, because they did not hear from God. Yeah, we know that the Lord does not leave us nor forsake us, and if He is silent or whatever the case is, it's for your good. That's all I know. That's all I know. God is our wise counsel. He's wise. So whatever plan, decision, or way that He wants to do a thing is for our good. It may not feel like it's for our good sometimes at that moment or whatever, but it is. It's for our good. God knows. He said, "I know the plans that I have for you." Plans to not harm you. It ain't to harm you. It's to build you. So trust in, that's that faith. That's where faith has to come in at, because faith is believing something that's not seen. And if God is being silent in your life, it could be a testing of your faith for you to believe the unseen when you don't hear Him too. But trust and believe that God will never leave you nor forsake you. He can be silent, but He ain't left you. He ain't left you. He can be silent, but He ain't leave you. It can be a testing of your faith. You activate it. Activate that faith and continue to press toward that mark, even in the midst of feeling the way that you feel. Because at the end of the day, we know that our God is a good Father, and the things that He do is for our good. He is not planning to harm us. It's for our good. And sometimes silence is because of something that you have, done or created in your mind. Doubt, fear, distractions can make it seem like He's silent. Distractions, because if you feed your flesh more than you feed your spirit, then your flesh loud. You can't hear Him. Quiet the noise. Be still. Be still and know that He's God. He is God, not you. He is God. We can partner with God, but let's not try to take God's position, if that makes sense. It's only a couple things that I want to talk about in this one. Verse 4, I think 2 through 4 actually. Um, they're basically asking God to remember his people, and it seemed like the enemies are disrespecting the temple. Yeah, it seems like they're very upset about that, and I would be too. If somebody come and destroy the Lord's temple where we worship and commune together, and we not, what I'm saying, that I would be upset too. But yeah, he's talking about the temple, like the actual temple. They destroyed the temple, the man-made temple. Um, and he's very upset about that. He's upset and he's asking God, remember your people. Remember your people. These people, remember your people. The enemies disrespecting the temple. They destroying the temple. We not getting no signs at all. We not getting no signs. So he's crying out to God, calling out to God for assistance in this area, assistance in this, what's going on right now. I truly love reading Psalms. It starts off by saying, like, how the top, from top to bottom, they real. You start off by saying, oh God, why you left me? Oh my goodness. And then it's like, as he's talking, letting you know, after that, he's letting God know, about what's going on. And then afterward, he magnify and glorify and honor God. This man literally said, he started bigging up God, boasting up God, glorifying God. He said, for God is my King of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the head of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of the Leviathan in pieces, and gavest him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Thou did cleave the fountain and the flood. Thou driest up mighty rivers. He's literally bigging up God, how powerful, showing how powerful God is. In when these things, the things that he's got going on that's happening, he's being reminded. He's bigging up God and being reminded of the God that he served. The powerful God. You did all of this. You did all of this. So I know this here that I'm asking, that I'm pleading with, ain't nothing for you. This ain't nothing for you to handle. This ain't nothing for you to handle. You have done all these things. Very powerful. Our very powerful God. You have done all these things. So this ain't nothing for you to handle right here. Y'all hear that? Faith. That's faith. Forget, like I said, the emotional thing that happened. Oh God, why? Where are you at? Sometimes we have those moments, but when you sit there, that's why I say be still. When you sit there and start dwelling on the fact of the God that you are calling on and speaking to, your perspective shifts. It'll shift mid-prayer. It'll shift mid-talk. It'll shift. Your heart will shift. Your focus will shift. I mean, the God over all the earth, this ain't nothing for you. You created the sun, the moon, the stars. You created the earth. You created us from dust. You dried up the waters. Parted the Red Sea. Commanded the sea to stay there. Up in the air. This ain't nothing for you. Ain't nothing too hard for God. There ain't nothing that God cannot do. There ain't nothing that God cannot do in your life, and we gotta stop putting him in a box. There ain't nothing that God cannot do in your life. Especially, I'm gonna say especially, because you need to have faith. Faith is what moves God, not doubt and uncertainty. Faith moved the Lord. When you realize that, you be like, oh, ain't nothing but a chicken wing. I wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that. Y'all look. Okay. I just wanted to say that though. Oh yeah. And the fact that there is seasons, that means God's control. He controls the times. He controls the time. First of all, God control. He's in control. Period. God is in control. I love when people big up God because it do something in me. It do something in me. It makes me happy because yes, God is that. God is in control. God did do that. Glorify his name. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Big up God because he deserve it. He deserve it. So yeah, that's all for this video because it's basically them, you know, it's basically them being is upset about the temple being destroyed and asking the Lord to intervene because it seems like the Lord is silent and no signs or with no sign going on. And yeah, so that's really all. Only thing I want to pull out of there is, God has not left you nor forsake. God will not leave you nor forsake you. And I went over some of the reasons why God would be silent. And big up God. Yeah, sometimes you do need to be reminded of what God has done to shift your focus to the truth. You know what I'm saying? You may not hear him, or you may not see a sign. You may not, but shift your focus on remembering what the Lord has done, and remembering and knowing, combating it with the truth that we know in the word. Amen. So that's really all I got for you. That's all I got for you today. But I do love you guys. I pray that you guys have a wonderful night. And yeah. I pray that y'all have a wonderful night, and I will see you in the next video. So bye. Be breezy.